And the 3-seed Washington Mystics making their first finals appearance. And Mystics, Christy Seattle Storm 26-8 on the season, 13 in finals. It'll be Sanders and Stewart to jump it up. And the 2018 WNBA finals are underway as Seattle wins the tip. Here's Lloyd finding Howard, cutting to the rim for bucket #1 of these finals.
We've seen throughout the course of the season and the playoffs, Seattle beautifully done in the pick and roll, especially when Howard is at the receiving end.
Howard's been such a consistent player in these playoffs for Seattle. Sanders looking for help underneath, has the pass knocked away by Lloyd, and control. Here comes Clark, trying to leave it for Stewart. Good movement here. Howard zings it. Clark attacks the closeout and finishes.
Both of these teams can play 5 around the perimeter. Tremendous spacing. Not only the ability to hit three-point shots, but the room that creates for the drive.
Both Sue Bird and Mike Tebow remarking to us that they feel like each team is a mirror image of the other, as Deladon missed it badly, and that's out of bounds off of Washington.
That time when Elena Deladon went up for the shot, she was going off of the left foot, off of the knee that had been injured. That's a thing to keep an eye on. She doesn't quite have the same pop, the same lift when she's going off the left leg.
And right now guarding Breanna Stewart as Bird misfires on the 3. Thought about following it up and maybe hesitated just a sec, otherwise could have got it. Natasha Cloud had a free lane. Stewart got there to help. Cloud, one of the more improved players in the WNBA this season. Squeezes a pass inside. Sanders couldn't finish. Here comes Bird, the 11-time All-Star. Nearly turned it over and now officially does. Washington yet to score in this first. That 3 from Atkins is good, and the rookie has been poised all playoffs.
I was just about to say, it looks like Washington has a little bit of nerves, and the one player who doesn't is Ariel Atkins, their rookie.
No-look Bird to Howard for 2.
One thing you know with Natasha Howard is she's going to be active, and if there's an open lane to the basket, she's going to take it, and if the basketball is in Sue Bird's hands, she will always find her open teammate.
Bird had a career high, more than 7 assists per game this season in year number 16. Shot clock down to 5. Deladon, the former MVP, muscling inside. Can't quite finish. There is Atkins, the rookie, blocked by Howard. Shot clock under 7. Tolliver looking to create. Deladon will give it another try and get fouled. Elena Deladon works her way to the line.
And the reason the Mystics got that second offensive opportunity was the offensive rebound by Ariel Atkins. This is a player who, in Game 5 against Atlanta, had 6 offensive rebounds from the guard position.
Deladon, the all-time leader in free throw percentage in WNBA history. It's the first. Shop WNBAstore.com now to represent the Seattle Storm and the Washington Mystics during the WNBA Finals. Choose from jerseys, t-shirts, accessories, and more. WNBAstore.com, one store every team.
We're going with fire gear, right? No longer dope gear. They've got fire gear, and we don't know about fleeces.
We don't know about fleeces.
Or fanny packs.
We don't know about fanny packs, but we know the gear
is fire.
It's lit. Stewart finds Clark, briefly double. Clark swivels, can't finish. Howard keeps it alive. Who's going to win it? Deladon, the accurate tip over to Sanders. A 6-5 start for Seattle. Cloud cradles and draws the whistle. That'll be on Jewel Lloyd, her first. And that was one of the keys from Dan Hughes, keeping Washington off the free throw line. That's back-to-back possessions where they put them at the stripe.
And this is a great job by Cloud to get to the inside. We talked about it with Seattle because they can play on the perimeter. They'll get pick and roll game and those driving lanes are there. Well, these teams mirror images of one another in terms of how they play. So same thing on this end for Washington. Those driving lanes are there.
Seattle won 2 of the 3 regular season matchups, but from both teams' accounts, all need to be taken with a grain of salt because of scheduling quirks and injuries. Never felt like they really had full rested squads against each other.
Rested squads and rested quads.
Stewart, high arcing and didn't have the angle. Here comes Tolliver, trying to work around Bird. Tolliver, an all-star this year, gives it up. Sanders can't hit the jumper. Here's Jewel Lloyd. Did not play in the fourth quarter of game 5. Takes this jumper. Can't hit. Howard was fouled on the putback by Atkins. And 2 free throws coming for Natasha Howard.
Whoever is guarding Natasha Howard, whether it's her primary matchup or whoever has her on a switch or in transition, as soon as the shot goes up, you have to put a body on her. She is a live, active body who attacks the offensive glass.
Natasha Howard has really flourished in an increased role this season. And Dan Hughes, speaking to us earlier this year, was so grateful to the work that Cheryl Reeve and Minnesota's staff did in developing Howard. He called it an active sabbatical for her because she didn't play big minutes in Minnesota, but she learned a lot and now has put it to use.
And she was behind Rebecca Brunson, and that's who she was learning from. Minnesota wanted to re-sign her. They simply couldn't afford her.
Cloud able to save it to Tolliver in the corner, way off on a 3. Rebound to Clark. Kick ahead, beautifully done. Lloyd lays it in.
Jewel Lloyd has been really active here in the early goings, and that's important for her. She's had some struggles with her shot the last 4 games in the series against Phoenix, but she's able to focus on the other things. Activity has been won early.
Stewart guarding Deladon. The current MVP versus a former one. Deladon, crafty but couldn't finish. Here comes Bird, blasting ahead. Stewart dips inside and a blocking foul called, and that's a key one. That's going to be number 2 on Ariel Atkins.
Seattle wants to get up and down the floor. They want to get out in transition. Great pass by Clark. Jewel Lloyd able to finish. We've seen that the last couple possessions. Seattle really getting out quickly.
We see Brianna Stewart at the line now, a chance to get on the board for the first time in this opening quarter. And Sue Bird had an outstanding article today in the Players Tribune in which she said, look, I know I'm getting all the credit for that game 5, but I'm not one of the top 3 reasons we won. The first reason is Stewie. The second reason is Stewie.
Who is the third reason, Ryan?
Well, the third reason, she said a complete team effort. It kind of ruined the flow, I know, in the cadence. But she did say the fourth reason was Stewie as well. And if you think back to that game 5, every time Phoenix took a 4, a 6, an 8-point lead, it was Stewart who hit a tough bucket to keep Seattle in it before Bird exploded late in the 4th. Largest lead of the game for Seattle, it is 5. Cloud pops and hits.
Always a good sign for the Washington Mystics when Natasha Cloud is able to hit from the perimeter. She's hot and cold at times with her scoring.
Bird shaded by Tolliver. Here's Howard, a quick start for her already. How about the footwork? Natasha Howard with 8 points in this first. Howard playing in her 4th straight finals. First with Indiana, then 2 straight with Minnesota, and now here with Seattle. Tolliver just lost it out of bounds. Washington turns it over. Timeout on the floor. A fast start for Howard in Seattle.
You gotta love when a big has footwork. Take a look. Step, step. None of this is a travel. It's just a beautiful move. Seattle by 5.
The engine to making Seattle go. I know you guys are friends. How do you limit her impact in this series?
Playoff game 5 or a game 5 series, it's chess, it's not checkers, and she's Bobby Fischer, so it's not the easiest of tasks. She's a great player, but we'll figure it out. Thank you, Christy. Yeah.
Who are you in a game of chess, Ryan?
I don't know. I don't think I qualify. Bird got pushed. That's going to be an offensive foul. Aerial Powers called for it just into the game for Washington. You know, it was interesting hearing that comment from Christy Tolliver, though, because something we've observed throughout this season and especially in these playoffs is how much of an active coach Sue Bird really is for this team. It's something Dan Hughes loves having. And you go through a Seattle shoot-around or watch them in a huddle right after a timeout, she has as much a voice as anybody. As Lloyd can't hit the jumper.
Coaching her team, telling them where to go, what to do, the subtle adjustments that need to be made.
Behind the back pass, stolen by Clark. Seattle with numbers as Clark lays it in. Largest lead in the quarter for Seattle. Another outstanding crowd here at Key Arena. Tolliver in the corner, can't hit the three. Bird the flip. Clark into the lane, lays it up.
You cannot give Alicia Clark enough credit. She is the best perimeter defender on the Seattle team. Right now, she is on Christy Tolliver, giving her all kinds of difficulty and then also getting out in transition beautifully.
Tolliver gets a step that time and able to bang it in. Lloyd's jumper is good. A confident stroke there from Jewel Lloyd.
I think Christy Tolliver vitally important to this Washington team, not only because of her ability to score, but Ryan, she's the one who's won a championship. Her teammates will look to her. She can help settle them.
Deladon fouled by Bird, who was switched onto Deladon. Well, to your point about Tolliver, when we talked with her before the game today about what's different about this trip to the finals compared to being here with LA a couple of years ago, she said, I have to play well for us to win. She said, in LA, we had Nneka, we had Candace, Elena, Chelsea. There's a lot of different options for where scoring could come from especially. She said, for us to win, she said, I think we have a special group, but I have to play well.
She said, and she likes that responsibility. It's why she came to Washington.
Bird to steal. All alone, Bird lays it in. First bucket of the game from Game 5-0. Timeout Washington. An 11-point Storm lead. Told us before the game, if you make a mistake, Seattle will make you pay every single time. And it's a similar refrain that we heard from Sandy Brondello, Phoenix's outstanding head coach in the semifinal series.
And right now, Washington with 5 turnovers. Seattle scored 6 points off of those. It's been a lot of mistakes for the Mystics early.
Deladon trying to insist her way in and does. Elena Deladon, 5th in the league in scoring this season, just under 21 points a game. Jordan Canada, the rookie, in for Bird as Stewart can't hook it in. Rebound corralled by Hawkins. Tiana Hawkins tees it up. Can't hit. Howard came back for the board. Here comes Canada, who has a lot of speed. Got the volley to the dome from Stewart. Canada missed that one. Stewart poked it alive, and Seattle wins it. Here comes the screen from Howard. On the switch, Howard lays it in. 10 points in this first quarter for Natasha Howard.
How good has she been? How good, how solid has Natasha Howard been so far?
You think about their playoffs so far, it feels like she's been as steady as any piece on their team.
Steady is the perfect descriptor.
Tolliver, look at a crossover. Clark, Tolliver gets in the lane, can't finish. 2-for-1 opportunity for Seattle. Clark will take. Can't hit. Stewart went flying in. Canada. And a foul is called. Or is it out of bounds? Well, they'll call a loose ball foul on Christy Tolliver.
You know, a lot of times when you talk to players before playoff games, they talk about the importance of 50-50 balls and hustle. And right now, Seattle is getting to those. You wonder if part of it might be the fact that they got to sit home after their Game 5 victory, where Washington had cross-country flight. They might be feeling a little more fatigued than the Storm.
Tolliver called for the personal. Here is Lloyd giving it up. Canada misses it badly, and Hawkins able to dig up the rebound as Washington can hold for one. Mystics shooting it at just 28.5% in this first quarter. 3 seconds left. Deladon wants it. Good footwork. Can't get the roll, and that'll do it for the first. Strong start for the top-seeded Seattle Storm.
Everybody in the first quarter and the fourth quarter, so we're going to have to be better. We spent enough time talking about it.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Mike Thibault, the winningest coach in WNBA history, seeking his first championship. This is third appearance as Powers couldn't hit. And the rebound, Sammy Whitcomb, one of the heroes for Seattle in Game 5 against Phoenix.
Washington gone a little bit deeper into their bench. Coach Thibault looking for some energy and fight out there.
And got some there, but it's going to be a foul on Tolliver, her second. They won Game 2 of the best-of-5 WNBA Finals between the Storm and the Mystics Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app.
What network are we on, Ryan?
ABC.
Everybody can watch.
Brianna Stewart, Sue Bird on the bench at the moment for Seattle. Whitcomb with Canada, Paris, Clark, and Langhorne. Clark the only starter. 2 to shoot. Whitcomb elevates. Can't flick it in. Paris battling, but Hines Allen wins it for Washington. Seattle an 18-0 advantage, points in the paint in that first quarter. Here is Powers, acquired midseason from Dallas, and another turnover from Washington. Whitcomb gives it up, and Langhorne lays it in.
Ryan, that was a situation where Ariel Powers needs to know you take the foul. You turn it over. Instead of letting Seattle get out in a fast break, a veteran would have taken that foul.
Seattle is out and running early in this game, and they have their largest lead. Cloud, no. Rebound volley, gobbled up by Paris. Whitcomb, no. Clark hustles and wins the battle. Seattle is quicker to every loose ball right now. Langhorne, and it's going to be a 3-second violation, I believe. And it is a 3-second violation on Langhorne as Seattle turns it over.
And you talk about Seattle being quicker to things, and again, part of that is just will and determination. But I think part of that is physical fatigue from Washington. I mean, both of these teams have been through a lot in terms of their 5-game series a couple days ago.
Washington won on the road at Atlanta. Gritty series. Nikki Collin did such an outstanding job with that dream team playing without their star angel McCautry. Hawkins run off the line, barrels in, and lays it home.
I love it. Love the decision by Tiana Hawkins. She can make that 3-point shot. Her team's been struggling to hit from the perimeter, so she takes it to the rim instead.
Brianna Stewart adds to the scorer's table for Seattle. Langhorne around and off. Rebound Ruffin Pratt. She will push for Washington. Ruffin Pratt draws the foul, and we take a listen in to Mike Thibault, wired for center.
Casual about anything, and that kind of is the way you describe the way Washington's played on both ends of the floor early.
6 turnovers for the Mystics. That's led to 8 points for Seattle. Mismatch inside. Canada was fighting. It last hits Mosqueda Lewis. And it will be Washington basketball, 7 to shoot.
Great job by Hawkins, though. She had the mismatch on her. She fought hard and posted up strong.
Cloud elevates, can't hit. Rebound tips into the arms of Canada, giving Bird extended rest here. Langhorne with a lane, can't finish. Hawkins the rebound, nearly flipped it into trouble. Good hands by Canada, she took it away from Cloud. 2-on-1, Whitcomb lays it up and in. Seattle feasting on Washington's mistakes. Allen jitters in for two.
I think right now Washington needs to continue to attack the paint. They're struggling from the perimeter. Try to get to the free throw line. That's the one thing where they were successful early.
Stewart fell. Hines Allen the steal. Aisha Hines Allen the rookie. Deladon getting ready to check back in for Washington. Lloyd, Howard, and Bird at the table for Seattle. Mike Tebow wanted a foul there, did not get it. Whitcomb, Truth, and three. And that nearly comes over the steal. Sammy Whitcomb has just been terrific off the bench for Seattle in these playoffs. Hines Allen muscles it in for two.
Right now, though, a lot of standing around for Washington. Great job of Hines Allen to catch it and to attack. When Cloud picked up a dribble, there wasn't much movement.
Stewart gets the step. The floater is off. Rebound Powers. Stewart 0 for 4 from the floor thus far. You're right, just no fluidity right now to Washington.
They look a little fatigued to me, man. I think their travel a couple days ago is playing a part in this.
Powers wraps around it in. And Seattle is going to take a timeout. Dan Hughes will get the rest of the starting lineup back in. It's a 10-point lead in this first half for Seattle.
Sammy Whitcomb came up huge and gave 5 against Phoenix, and this is what she does. The quickest release in the WNBA, 4-3.
Has been toasting Washington in transition early in game one.
You heard Mike Tebow tell his team we can't be casual with the basketball. When you're casual against Seattle, they get out and run and get easy buckets in the paint. They have 10 points so far off of 7 Washington turnovers. The one thing you cannot do when you're playing the Seattle Storm is give them easy looks like that. They're too good on the offensive end.
They have a 15-0 edge in fast break points right now. Lloyd, Stewart, Whitcomb, Howard, and Bird are the 5 for Seattle. Deladon back in for Washington as Stewart reverses it in. And you wonder, with that bone bruise in the left knee of Elena Deladon, how she's going to be able to hold up guarding the MVP Stewart.
Yeah, that was great quickness by Brianna Stewart. And we asked Stewart about that matchup this morning. She said, you know what, if she's guarding me, I'm sorry about your knee, but basically, I'm going to take it at you.
Cloud connects on a 3. Tasha Cloud has significantly improved her shooting this season. In the corner, Lloyd. You bet. On a 3.
Beautiful pass on the money by Sue Bird, leads to a make.
Underneath, it's Cloud twisting for 2.
Cloud has really come alive offensively for Washington. And Seattle's a good defensive team too, so it's important for Washington to be able to make contested shots. We saw that 2 possessions ago by Cloud.
9 points for Natasha Cloud. Lloyd will take again. It's hit! And Sue Bird fired up after Lloyd hit that jumper. You could see there's a different confidence in the stroke of Lloyd here in game 1 of the finals. Whoa! Cloud, short, it kicks to Whitcomb. Whoa! Here comes Bird, always pushing pace for Seattle. Howard, looking to find some space. Whitcomb wrapping in the lane, couldn't curl it in. And Deladon covers up for Washington. You can see Whitcomb trying to shade Cloud to her left. Atkins, the rookie, back in with 2 fouls for the Mystics. Shot clock at 4. Sanders with it at 2. Short. Deladon, the offensive rebound and the putback.
Sanders does not look like herself on the offensive end, and LaChina Robinson had reported that she has a broken knuckle on her shooting hand, and that seemed to have been impacting her the past couple of games.
Lloyd again. She's feeling it here in the second. 11 points now for Jewell Lloyd, who averaged just 11 in that semifinal series. That's going to be a reach-in against Whitcomb. Timeout on the floor. A 12-point Seattle lead in game 1.
Between being giddy and being focused, but she said, I play at my best when I'm loose, when I play like a kid, when I keep things simple. It's basketball. I just can't overcomplicate the game, and she said, I have to be a little bit less predictable, get in my bag, use my step back, my crossovers. She has not been doing that as of late, but she is doing it tonight, guys.
It's always fun to see a player when she's in her bag, LaChina, don't you think?
Gucci bag or a Fendi bag, yes.
In her bag again. Jewell Lloyd is feeling it. 14 for Lloyd. Cloud couldn't hit, whistle away from the ball against Seattle.
And we were talking to Dan Hughes before the game about Jewell Lloyd and some of her struggles, and he said, you know what, my message to Jewell all year has been talking to her about her total game, not just worrying about how she's doing in terms of scoring, and she's still been able to successfully rebound. She's been assisting the basketball, and those are the things you need to do when you're struggling a bit from the floor.
She has 10 points in this second quarter as that drops in for Ariel Atkins. Here comes Lloyd. Lloyd finds Stewart, catch, fire, hit from 3. Seattle, the league's top three-point shooting team this season, is 4 of 7 in the first half. Atkins lays it in on a gorgeous dime from Cloud.
Yeah, perfectly timed, and credit Atkins. We talked earlier how Washington didn't have a great movement. Well, Atkins saw the free lane and cut through it.
2-for-1 opportunity for Seattle. Bird working around the Stewart screen. Bounces to her, center of the lane. Stewart is hit. And free throws coming for Breanna Stewart. Hey, stay tuned for the WNBA halftime report presented by State Farm. We'll relive Sue Bird's incredible fourth quarter and a sit down with Seattle's Jamal Crawford. Now, speaking of that fourth quarter, in that Players Tribune article, Sue Bird told the story of getting a text message late at night from Diana Taurasi, her best friend in the WNBA, that said, Sue, we're out and I'm playing Pac-Man. I just lost, and guess whose name comes up as the high scorer? Someone named Sue. Bye. Humor from the GOAT after an outstanding series and her team falling just short. Deladon trying to recollect. It's out of bounds. And the 8th turnover for Washington in this first half. Six seconds to work for Bird. 3 seconds. Bird gives it up. Howard. I don't think she got it off in time. Didn't seem aware of the clock as she was wide open from the wing. And that'll do it for the first half. But that's about the only mistake Seattle made in these first 2 quarters of the finals. A 48-32 lead for the Storm as they shoot it at 54%. Another tremendous crowd in Seattle, where the Storm are undefeated so far in these playoffs after winning all 3 of their home games in the semifinals. Washington had to win a road game 5 in Atlanta. McLeod off a good set, can't hit. Offensive rebound, Sanders. Here is Tolliver misfiring, and Clark snatches it for Seattle.
Tolliver has to come alive offensively. Seattle's going to score a lot of points. Washington's going to need Christy Tolliver to be able to score as well.
Stewart goes to the hook, got hit, and will go to the line to shoot two. We welcome all of you watching on ESPN Game 1 of the 2018 WNBA Finals. Ryan Rucco, the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, LaChina Robinson with you. The Seattle Storm taking advantage of 8 Mystics turnovers in the first half, getting out and running a 15-0 edge in fast break points and a big halftime lead for the Storm. They add to it there with Stewart going 1 for 2 from the line. Seattle the top seed in these playoffs, Washington the 3 seed. Seattle taking 2 of 3 regular season meetings as Tolliver, and hit again, has not been able to find the stroke from deep. Here's Bird, Game 5, 0 Tuesday. Into the MVP, Stewart. Stewart maybe got hit, knocked out of bounds by Washington. It'll stay with Seattle as we check in with LaChina.
Guys, I was in the Washington Mystics huddle, and Mike Tebow only had one word on his board, and it said Tolliver. So you think he was putting an emphasis, as you said, Rebecca, on Christy Tolliver getting going, and that's one thing they're relying on her in this series, in the finals. She's won a WNBA championship, coming to a Washington Mystics squad that does not have this championship experience. They rely on her offense, unlike her role on prior teams. They really need her to get going, or at least distribute the basketball to get their offense moving.
First couple of sets, they ran plays to get Tolliver looks, and it's difficult against Seattle because Seattle has the ability to switch on every screen.
Delle Donne, such a pure stroke for the former MVP. Howard, using her quickness, just couldn't finish it. Got a little tangled up afterwards. Here comes Cloud for Washington. Atkins will heave. Around it off. You can hear Mike Tebow saying that is not good offense. Clark out of bounds off of her, and Seattle turns it over. It's just their 4th of the game.
Why isn't it good offense? They're not moving the ball. They're not making Seattle defend. That's where you get tired, is at the defensive end of the floor. They're not shifting and moving and looking for open looks and setting screens.
Delle Donne working hard against Howard. 7 to shoot. Cloud lost it out of bounds off Seattle. It'll stay here as we take a look at the remainder of the WNBA Finals schedule. Game 2 Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Series shifts to our nation's capital then Wednesday, 8 p.m. on ESPN2. A Game 4 would stay in Washington, and a Game 5 will be back here in Seattle on Sunday the 16th.
It's a full slate of games. The last 2 inbounds plays, 1 for each team, executed beautifully for scores.
Stewart, the deep catch, the turn, and the finish. Breanna Stewart now with 14 points, matching Jewel Lloyd for the game high.
You see it right there, the pick and roll with Tolliver and Elena Delle Donne. And Seattle's able to switch and thwart it.
Atkins couldn't push it in. Breanna Stewart has the last 10 for Seattle. Lloyd gets free and lays it in. 16 now for Lloyd. 5 assists for Bird. The lead is 19 as Lloyd gets called for the personal.
Breanna Stewart has a 7'1" wingspan, so when she gets position on the block, she can turn and score when she goes to her hook shot. Doesn't matter if it's right or left, release point over the 6'5" Elena Delle Donne. Catch, turn, that's 2.
Seattle cooking a 19-point edge and a timeout taken by Washington here in Game 1 of these 2018 WNBA Finals. Seattle during this last time out. One of those local legends who has gotten on board as the Storm have set the city on fire, as you heard Jamal Crawford say at the half. Stewart, great touch pass. Lloyd, truth on a three. It's all working for the Storm in game one. That one nearly was thrown away. Cloud run off the line, got the whistle, and we'll shoot two.
Jewell Lloyd continues to shine here in game one of the finals. She likes game one in the playoffs, Ryan. Was stellar in game one against Phoenix, has been stellar so far here tonight. I'll say this, Ryan. Seattle right now, their effort and execution is reflective of how they've played all season in the playoffs. Washington's effort and execution are not. They are struggling in terms of their ability to score and defend. They've been beaten to almost every loose ball. This is a team that performed great, especially in the latter part of the regular season and in the playoffs, and they are not looking good at all here tonight.
And right now they're in a huge hole as Lloyd flips it in. Jewell Lloyd with 21 points. And Lloyd and Stewart have scored the last 29 for Seattle. Seattle this year is 11-0 when Lloyd scores 20. Atkins hops it in. Lloyd did not play in the fourth quarter of game 5 as Sammy Whitcomb came off the bench, made a positive impact as Lloyd struggled. But Lloyd, an all-star this year, has bounced back in a big way here in game 1. Stewart takes it in, hooks it home. The last 31 now for Seattle have been from Lloyd or Stewart. And that is going to be a foul away from the ball, I believe against Alicia Clark. Second foul on Clark, who did such a terrific job defending Diana Taurasi in the semifinals, and she said it would prepare her for defending Kristi Tolliver. Said with Taurasi, you can't give her an inch of space, she'll kill you. Said Tolliver's sort of the same way because she'll hoist from anywhere. So she feels prepared for this matchup, and Tolliver has struggled in this game 1. Bird pushing. Bird, a free lane. No one picked her up. Washington continues to melt here in game 1 as the Storm.
Fountain of youth.
Sue Bird changed her diet a couple of years ago, got over some lingering injuries, and has been terrific. Sandy Brondello, head coach of Phoenix, was saying last series it feels like she's faster than ever out on the floor as Atkins lays it in. Bird, an 11-time All-Star, has spent more seasons with one team than any player in WNBA history, all 16 here in Seattle. And now playing in her third finals, trying to win her third finals. Bird, short. It was Bird who scored 14 in the fourth quarter of game 5 to prepare.
In particular this season, but the last couple at her age to, reshape her body and her game, and look at that.
Finds Stewart who lays it in. 6 assists now for Bird, 18 points for Stewart. Seattle has assisted on 19 of 27 field goals. Tolliver trying to get one to drop. She can't. Rebound Bird. Bird, the lob, right into the lap of Stewart, who is fouled. You cannot drop it in any more beautifully than Bird just did. That'll be the third personal on Kristi Tolliver.
Well, guys, you were just talking about the 19 assists on the 27 made field goals for Seattle. That indicates chemistry, and that's something that Seattle didn't have a lot of last season. Their #1 problem was turnovers. Yes, they have 3 #1 picks, but it takes a lot more than that. So what they did in the offseason is Sue Bird, Jewel Lloyd, and Breanna Stewart spent time together in the gym in the offseason, which is rare for WNBA players who are usually overseas, but that time together helped them to build their trust and learn each other's game, and we are seeing the results of that out on the floor on the offensive end tonight.
Well, China, it's such a great point as Stewart gets called for the foul. They spent a couple of months together, and it's amazing how many times throughout this season and these playoffs, each of them individually have referenced how vital that time was together training in the offseason.
They're your 3 most important players, the players who will be having the basketball in their hands the most. They need to be on the same page. They need to have chemistry, and those 3 clearly do.
And it's something Washington did as well that they've continually remarked was useful for their journey too. Getting core players in the gym to work together in the offseason. Stewart elevates, can't hit. Atkins was nearly in the landing space of Stewart. Lloyd kept her feet in bounds on the athletic steal. Will she finish on the other end? No, but she is whacked to the ground. And Jewel Lloyd is fouled. She'll shoot 2 after the outstanding steal, and she'll get a nice hand.
Jewel Lloyd is more than just a player who can score, and she's showing all that here in game 1. Terrific job keeping her feet in bounds and then hustling the other way to get herself to the line.
You know, Lloyd talked about that time in the offseason with Sue and with Breanna Stewart and said, I went to the Sue Bird School of Point Guards because she didn't know Seattle was going to draft a point guard, Jordan Canada, to back up Sue. And what's interesting is sometimes young stars, they may have an ego and not be so receptive to learn. Breanna Stewart and Jewel Lloyd both continually talk about how they soak in every single thing Sue Bird tells them.
They're thirsty for it.
Atkins, an impressive rookie, flips it in. Ariel Atkins now with 15 points to lead all Washington scores. Bird threads the needle. Howard puts it in. And the foul. It's a clinic.
Who's better making passes off the screen and roll than Sue Bird? Right there. Perfect timing. Threading the needle. I mean, beautiful and a great finish by Natasha Howard.
Sammy Whitcomb, Jordan Canada in for Lloyd and Bird. Howard, who got this game started with 10 in the first, now has 13 for the game. And for more on Howard, let's check in with China.
Well, when you talk to Seattle Storm players, the first thing they say about Natasha Howard is how selfless she is. And that's something that her mom, Latasha Howard, noticed when she was a young kid. She said she loves to help people and she wants to make people around her better. So what does she do? All the little things that no one notices. Run the floor hard. She goes to rebound. But she did say she learned a lot of that in Minnesota, which you guys noted earlier. She said she learned how to work hard from Rebecca Brunson. And then one thing that Cheryl Reeves told her that stuck with her throughout her career moving here to Seattle is do what you do best. And she said, I know that means getting the scrappy rebounds and all the things that no one else wants to do. It's about the dirty work.
And she's done it so wonderfully. Could have been an all-star this year, really. Instead, named most improved player. And she's been terrific in these playoffs thus far. Belladon now with 10 points for Washington. She struggled a little bit, 4 of 11 from the floor. Stewart ran into traffic and then a travel. They shop WNBAstore.com now to represent the Seattle Storm and the Washington Mystics during the WNBA Finals. Choose from jerseys, t-shirts, accessories, and more. WNBAstore.com, one store every team.
What are you getting from the WNBA store this playoff season, Ryan?
I want a Sue Bird facial mask. Yeah.
I would like you to get one as well.
Do you think they sell them?
I don't think they do, but they should.
That one from Game 5 may one day be at the Hall of Fame. She
will one day be at the Hall of Fame.
That is for sure. Ariel Atkins connects on the jumper, which gives us the opportunity to say congratulations to Tina Thompson, Katie Smith, both going into the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Tonight,
our colleague Doris Burke as well, winning the Gowdy Award. Howard fading away, gets the roll.
Ariel Atkins, who played at Texas, was coached the last few years by Tina Thompson, one of the people being inducted tonight. And Ariel said she sent her an edible arrangement. She said, I'm just waiting to get the text from her. I don't know if she's received it yet. So Tina, I know you're busy tonight, but make sure you text Ariel and let her know you're enjoying those chocolate-covered strawberries, chocolate-covered bananas.
You ever get an order from Amazon? It's so hard to find the little note. Where did this come from? Who just sent me a new garment bag? It's usually Holly Rose sends it.
That's right.
Tolliver finally bangs one in from 3. She had been 0 of 6 from downtown. One of the best three-point shooters in this league's history. Canada, the rookie, had some big moments in the semifinals. Finds the veteran Langhorne on the jumper. 24-point edge for Seattle. Tolliver letting it wind. Fires away, in and out, and that'll do it for the third. It is all storm here in Seattle.
Of course, you're trying to make a charge in this game, but you're also playing for game 2. You're playing for some confidence, trying to find things that are going to be effective on both ends of the floor.
Talking with Mike Tebow, Washington's head coach, before the game, he was already conscious of what a quick turnaround it's going to be for Elena Delle Donne. As Canada lays it in with a Sunday afternoon game, a 12:30 local start. Delle Donne, as China documented earlier, has been undergoing extensive rehab on her bone bruise in her left knee. I wonder if you see her again in this game.
Unless her team makes a quick charge here, I'd be surprised if you do.
Canada, the crossover. Canada flips it up and off. Langhorne got banged. Tolliver trying to collect it, and does. Atkins lays it in.
She's been a bright spot. Ariel Atkins in her first WNBA Finals game has absolutely been a bright spot for Washington.
19 points and 9 of 13 shooting. She's had a terrific playoffs as well as Hawkins comes over the steal. Here's Atkins again and threw it out of bounds. With a little more on Elena.
Hyperbaric chamber, which you saw on Wednesday, she did for 2 hours. She has not done in the last 2 days because they have not been able to find a facility here in Seattle. But Delle Donne did tell me earlier today they think they found somewhere where she should be able to use that hyperbaric chamber. And that's been something that she's relied heavily on to get her back on the court after the initial left knee injury.
Well, you'd think Rebecca would be kind enough to just share hers because it's a requirement in her rider every hotel we stay at.
I was busy in my hyperbaric chamber round. How do you go about finding one of those?
I think you Google it.
You just ask Siri?
Either way works. I mean, you can really Google the most specific things you want.
You know what I think would be better is just, Alexa, find me a hyperbaric chamber, and we'll see now how many people at home have their Alexa talking to them.
Ruffin Pratt had it stripped by Lloyd. The kick ahead, Whitcomb. Sammy Whitcomb can't lay it in. Atkins 19 points, 9 of 13 shooting. She leads all Washington scorers. Got fouled there by Stewart. Ariel Atkins will go to the line. Hey, we'll have game 2 of the best of 5 WNBA Finals between the Storm and the Mystics. Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app. Sue Bird may not have to play again this game. Yeah, she rests right now on the bench of this 4th.
You can watch that game on your app while in your hyperbaric chamber.
Wow.
How about that?
Is that something you've done before?
No, but I might try on Sunday.
I hope you're here on Sunday.
I'll bring it with me.
(81-59), Seattle in front. They've led by as many as 27. Canada, the rookie, had it poked from behind. Loose ball collected by Washington. Monique Curry into the game for the Mystics. Has not gotten much run in these playoffs, but has always been an explosive scorer as Atkins hits the long 2. Ariel Atkins now with 23 points. Lloyd's jumper bangs off. Rebound Washington, putting together a few stops in a row. Ruffin Pratt gets a free lane and lays it in, and Dan Hughes has seen enough. He'll take a timeout. Sue Bird getting ready to check back in. So much for that rest. Timeout taken by the Storm. The lead has been shaved to 18.
Got Sammy.
Who was saying, even though Seattle got out to a 2-0 lead on Phoenix, because of the way those games ended, where the Mercury went on big runs, nearly came back to win, they didn't feel great after those 2 games, even though they had a 2-0 lead. And you know, as Bird checks back in here after seeing the 27-point lead shaved to 18, Seattle wants to avoid that in this contest.
So we talked about it at the beginning of the 4th quarter. Right now, both teams are playing for game 2. And Sue recognized, all right, Washington players and Dan Hughes recognized Washington's building up some confidence, cutting into this lead. We need to thwart this immediately.
Curry able to snatch that pass nicely and lay it in. And then a turnover from Seattle on the inbounds. It's not the kind of mistake that a head coach is going to be too thrilled about. As Howard and Bird on the inbound turn it over.
That actually happens a lot, Ryan. And just sometimes it's called and sometimes it's not.
Where that foot gets down early.
Yeah, you're just quickly trying to inbound the ball.
Hey! Hey!
I think Mike Tebow wants someone's attention.
I think so.
Ruffin Pratt off on a 3. Aerial Powers springs in. Can't finish. Howard had it taken away. And now it's Washington who is being the aggressor.
Yeah, this group, this unit for Washington has done a really nice job bringing energy. Hines Allen's been terrific. Powers has mixed it up as well.
It's down to 16, closest it's been in quite some time. Howard gets this step and lays it in. Natasha Howard now with 17 points.
One thing you need to know when you're defending Natasha Howard is she can go really quickly to her left. She loves putting the ball on the floor with her left hand and finishing inside.
Good hands by Lloyd. That hit the foot of Powers, it seemed. But it will stay with Washington. Ruffin Pratt lost it. Lloyd has it. And Lloyd is rung up by Hines Allen. And Michael Price is going to say, no, that's just a common foul.
And it's a common foul I like. You're trying to establish some sort of toughness. We talked in the first half that Aerial Powers should have taken a foul instead of letting Seattle get out in transition. That was a smart move by Hines Allen.
Seattle has an 18-0 edge in fast break points in this game. Stewart wide open, in and out. Clark fingertips on it, chases it down. Stewart free in the lane, hooks it in.
Once again, Alicia Clark making simple plays that have a big impact. O-board and a beautiful pass to Stewie.
A 20-point lead for the Storm. Powers bodied into Stewart. And a foul against Seattle. We talk about Sue Bird acting as a coach, really, for the Seattle Storm, an extension of Dan Hughes on the floor.
Well, so much experience, and her teammates listen to her, and you see her, they huddle up often after they break the team huddle. She's always talking, and her teammates told us, you know, sometimes she sees things out on the floor, she gets us together, and she makes little minor adjustments to different sets that we have because she knows we can exploit different defensive matchups or different defensive schemes. And what a luxury it is for Seattle to have her experience, her wisdom, and her ability to convey it in ways that her teammates can understand.
Think about the end of Game 4 of the semifinals against Phoenix. It was Sue Bird who drew up the final play. Now, they did not execute it, which Sue was very upset about, but it was she who drew it up. Clark got hit, and will shoot two.
Be alert. Wouldn't happen if you're alert.
Washington went over this play that Seattle just ran multiple times in their shoot-around today, and that's why Mike Tebow's saying be alert. They know what's happening. They know Alicia Clark is going to post up coming off the screen, and they just weren't aware of it, and she was able to get an easy post position and the ability to get to the free throw line.
Alicia Clark
Delay.
makes it a 20-point lead. (89-69). Storm in front. Powers a little loose with the handle. Hawkins, high arcer, not close. Lloyd pushing. Bird will back it out as Seattle gets ready to empty the bench. Stewart lost it, lasted Washington. Still Seattle ball, 3:33 to go.
That one unit that was in the game for Washington that made the run, they did their job. They forced Dan Hughes to put the starters back in. A huge charge to put Washington in a position to win, but they did their job in a different way.
Well, that's one of those things where it can matter when it's a series, right? As Mercedes Russell can't finish. She didn't get any time in the semifinals against Phoenix. Little things you could take. How about even Ariel Atkins and the confidence she could have scoring 23 points in her first finals game?
And one thing we know from experience and watching Christy Tolliver is that a performance in one game is not going to be indicative of her performance, at least shooting-wise, in the next game. She really struggled the first 3 games in the series against Atlanta in terms of her shooting percentage, and then games 4 and 5 was stellar. She has got a very short memory when it comes to a poor shooting night.
And ice in the veins.
Yeah.
Here's Shatori Walker-Kimbrough hitting the jumper. Under 3 minutes to go in game 1. The Seattle Storm an 18-point cushion. Quinn kicks it out. Good movement here. Paris couldn't finish. One to shoot. And the shot clock expires. As Washington will control, timeout on the floor. 2:37 to go in the fourth. It's all Seattle, an 18-point game 1 cushion in these best-of-5 finals. For DeJounte Murray, McLemore was here. There's a tight bond among people in the Seattle area. As Crystal Thomas can't lay it in. Hawkins is fouled. A reminder, game 2 will be Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. And while Washington has struggled here in game one, both Elena Deladon and Christy Tolliver certainly are capable of bouncing back.
And capable of having big scoring games. And they're going to need to. This is a high-powered Seattle team on the offensive end of the floor, and Washington needs to limit mistakes, and they're going to need their two big guns to really step up and perform in game two if they want to steal one here.
Whitcomb comes back for the steal.
I love the way she plays. I love how hard she plays. Doesn't matter the score, the time. She just plays the right way on every possession.
Whitcomb. Ruffin Pratt able to cradle it in through traffic. Inside of 90 seconds remaining in this game one. Each of these teams describing the other as a mirror image of themselves. But in game one, Seattle, who has looked much better in that mirror. Ruffin Pratt gives it up. Powers can't knock it down. Final minute. Mike Tebow clearly upset with the officiating crew, still saying call the game all the way through. Crowd rises to its feet, and that's going to be a charge on Sammy Whitcomb, so perhaps Mike Tebow's barking worked out there.
I think it did.
Either Dan Hughes or Mike Tebow will win their first WNBA championship. The two head coaches both in the top 3 all-time in WNBA coaching wins. Powers elevates and got fouled. Ariel Powers will shoot 2. It's all cosmetic at this point. A 15-point Seattle lead with 36.2 to go. What impressed you most about what Seattle did in this game one, Rebecca?
How they started the game. I mean, they came out and just took it right at Washington, and it started on the defensive end of the floor. They got the turnovers and pushed it in transition, but the mindset, the aggressiveness, the comfort that they felt in this game one of the WNBA Finals, when very few of them have experience being in this moment.
Sue Bird, Natasha Howard, the only members of the Storm to win rings. Howard winning one last year with Minnesota. Bird has won 2 here in Seattle, seeking a 3rd. An opportunity she admitted she never thought would come again after suffering through a rebuild. Said it all changed when we drafted Breanna Stewart. Whitcomb, no. Rebound, Quinn. Shot clock turned off, and Seattle can dribble this one out. A nearly immaculate Game 1 performance from the Seattle Storm as they take a 1-0 lead in these 2018 WNBA Finals. 89-76 the final in Game 1. For our producer, Rodney Vaughn, our director, Bonnie Riley, the China Robinson, the Hall of Famer, Rebecca Lobo, I'm Ryan Rucco. We'll continue on ESPN News. But for those of you watching on ESPN, SportsCenter is coming up right now.